Lee Jong-min, better known worldwide as Cha Eun Woo, was born on March 30th, 1997, in South Korea. His journey into entertainment began in 2013 when he joined Fantagio Entertainment. Just 1 year later, he made his acting debut, and by 2016, he officially entered the K-pop scene as a member of the boy group Astro. Over the years, Cha Eun Woo built a reputation that extended far beyond music and acting. Praised for his visuals and often labeled the embodiment of Korea's beauty standards, he became one of the most sought-after faces in advertising and fashion. With talent, discipline, and an image free of controversy, he was widely viewed as the perfect idol. For a long time, that image remained untouched. But in 2026, everything changed. On January 22, 2026, Korean media outlet E-Daily released an explosive report that immediately captured national attention. According to the article, Cha Eun Woo had been notified by the National Tax Service of penalties exceeding 20 billion won, roughly $15.8 million, on charges related to tax evasion. The investigation reportedly began with a tax audit targeting Fantagio Entertainment's president. During the review, authorities uncovered suspicious financial activity involving an affiliated company that had issued large invoices under the name of one of Fantagio's artists. As auditors followed the trail, the focus expanded to Cha Eun Woo and his family. At the heart of the case was a so-called one-person company, referred to as Company A. Authorities alleged that this entity existed primarily to reduce tax obligations. Despite Cha Eun Woo already being under contract with Fantagio, Company A signed a service agreement with the agency, allowing portions of his income to be distributed between Fantagio, Company A, and the artist himself. However, the National Tax Service determined that Company A did not perform legitimate services. Investigators classified it as a shell company, created solely for tax reduction purposes. A source from the tax sector stated that the company's registered address, located in a remote area of Ganghwa Island, was unsuitable for any entertainment business and did not function as an office. Because the tax authorities refused to recognize Company A as a legitimate entity, the situation escalated rapidly. In August 2025, Fantagio was fined 8.2 billion won for issuing false tax invoices under Company A's name. The investigation did not stop there. Both Cha Eun Woo and his mother were summoned for questioning. By the end of the audit, authorities concluded that more than 20 billion won in mandatory taxes had been evaded. It was also revealed that, at the artist's request, the National Tax Service delayed issuing the official notice until after he completed his military service. Cha Eun Woo's legal team responded by stating that his mother had established and managed the company out of concern for her son's career, citing frequent leadership changes at Fantagio. They insisted the company was formally registered and not an entity created without basis. The reaction in South Korea was immediate and intense. Cha Eun Woo had enlisted in the military in July 2025, and many interpreted the delayed announcement of the investigation as an attempt to keep the scandal out of the public eye. Because active duty soldiers are restricted from interviews, filming, and public appearances, speculation grew that the enlistment may have helped shield the artist from media scrutiny. In Korean society, any perception of using military service to avoid responsibility is met with harsh criticism. Celebrities in South Korea are not viewed solely as entertainers. They are expected to embody fairness, responsibility, and civic duty. Paying taxes is considered a fundamental obligation, and when a wealthy public figure is accused of trying to reduce that burden, the response is often unforgiving. With high-income individuals facing tax rates of nearly 50% compared to much lower corporate rates, the alleged use of shell companies struck a nerve. On the same day the report broke, Fantagio Entertainment released a statement emphasizing that the case was still under review. The agency argued that the key issue was whether the company founded by Cha Eun Woo's mother qualified as a legitimate taxable entity, a matter that had not yet been officially determined. Fantagio stated that they would actively cooperate with legal procedures and that Cha Eun Woo intended to fulfill all of his legal and tax obligations as a citizen. The artist also formally requested a pre-fine review, challenging the tax authorities' interpretation. 2 days later, on January 24th, Dispatch published a follow-up report that expanded the controversy to include the entire family's business structure. The outlet revealed that the first family company, Cha's Gallery, was established in July 2019 within an industrial complex. Cha Eun Woo served as CEO, his mother as internal director, and his father handled finances. It was registered as a joint stock company, which requires greater financial transparency, and listed 34 different business activities. With Cha Eun Eun Woo as its sole client. Over time, major changes followed. In 2020, his mother took over as CEO. In 2022, she founded a new limited liability company called L&C, registered in Ganghwa Island, an area known for offering tax benefits to rural businesses. In 2024, Cha's gallery was shut down and replaced by D&E LLC, a company reportedly created to manage the artist's assets. Unlike joint stock companies, LLCs in South Korea are not required to disclose financial statements. When Dispatch reporters visited D&E LLC's registered address in January 2026, they found an empty and unfinished space, further fueling suspicions that it existed only on paper. Dispatch also explained that Cha's gallery had originally been created during a period when Fantagio was facing financial instability. According to representatives, the company was meant to protect the artist's earnings. However, after Cha Eun Woo renewed his contract in 2022 for a record sum, his income began flowing through these personal entities. The core issue, according to tax authorities, is that these companies allegedly received portions of his primary salary rather than payment for specific services. This would allow personal income, normally taxed at much higher rates, to be treated as corporate income, forming the basis for the $13 million tax demand. Legal experts note that this case extends far beyond a routine tax adjustment. If intentional manipulation is proven, criminal charges could follow. Under Korean law, deliberate tax evasion can result in fines up to 3 times the unpaid amount and prison sentences of up to 5 years. The penalty already imposed is the largest ever faced by a Korean celebrity and ranks among the highest tax evasion cases globally involving public figures. Meanwhile, the impact has already begun. Several brands have pulled or restricted advertising campaigns featuring Cha Eun Woo, and public criticism continues to grow. On January 26th, Cha Eun Woo broke his silence. He posted a black image on Instagram alongside a long handwritten message, offering a public apology. He expressed deep remorse for causing disappointment, acknowledged his responsibility as a citizen, and stated that he was reflecting seriously on his approach to tax obligations. Writing from his military unit, he denied enlisting to avoid controversy and explained that he could no longer delay his service while the audit was ongoing. He admitted that his situation may have caused misunderstandings and took full responsibility for that perception. He pledged to cooperate fully with future tax procedures, accept the final judgment of authorities, and live with greater accountability moving forward. The following morning, Fantagio released another statement, reiterating that the investigation was still ongoing and urging the public to avoid speculation. The agency promised to strengthen its management systems to prevent similar controversies in the future. It is important to clarify that this case remains under investigation and no final legal conclusion has been reached. At this stage, all claims and allegations are subject to verification through official legal and administrative procedures. Public figures, including idols, are not exempt from accountability, but they are also entitled to due process. In recent years, online harassment and mass speculation have raised serious concerns, as excessive criticism and cyberbullying can cause severe psychological harm, even to those in the public eye. Allowing the justice system to carry out its work without pressure, assumptions, or hostility is essential to ensuring a fair and responsible outcome. As the case continues, the outcome will not only determine Cha Eun Woo's legal standing, but may permanently reshape one of South Korea's most carefully constructed celebrity images. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates.